Welcome, everyone, to Night City Stargazers. Our first episode. Night City is like any other city, full of opportunity should you wish to claim it. Fame should you die trying. And, well, brutal to the people who live there. Among some of the citizens of Night City are the four that you will be meeting tonight. The year is 2074. And Night City, much like it always has been, is booming for the corpse and shitty for those not involved. And tonight we will meet four of them. Orvan, Trix, Slideye, and Loup. All come from different backgrounds. All come from different places. And we'll all be meeting each other tonight. But first, I think some proper introductions for these characters is in order. We'll start with Loup. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Loup, and what you look like and what we could possibly expect as we take a look into what it is that you do in Night City.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm going to be playing Analie Adalet, call sign Loup, Loup for short. Loup is a fixer. By leaps and bounds, the youngest member of the team at 17 years old. She's very noticeable, either from her brash attitude or her fire red hair. Loup thinks that she's the next big thing, even though she grew up on the streets of the Haywood block. She's made a name for herself. Stealing and reselling medical supplies, brokering weapons and drug buys between rival gangs, even without their knowledge. And just in a few short years of grinding, has come out on top. There's only room for one wolf on this block, and Lou's going to be the last one standing.
Thank you very much. So, Loup. It's a job like any other job. Sam is in the truck, trying to make sure that security systems and other such things are disabled as you're making your way to make another grand theft of your own. Some supplies that are much needed for some upcoming jobs that you need to do are in your sights. Sam seems a bit nervous this time around, though, because this spot, while the opponent that you will be facing or thieving from tonight will be sort of a minor league Valentino, a no-namer who's trying to make his own way. He's worried. Seems to kind of look at you with a bit of concern and says to you, "Look, Lou, we sure about this? Is it really worth it?"
She's got her eye on the gate. She almost doesn't look back at him. She's just sort of watching ahead, and she looks back for just a second and says, "Don't you worry about that. You just keep your eye on the prize. I'll worry about the tough stuff."
He gives you a bit of a nod and kind of gives the steering wheel of the truck, a bit of a squeeze before pressing a control and letting you out through the rear of the vehicle. Just try not to get shot, yeah?
You just make sure you're here when it's time to go.
That's my job. And so, Lou, as you exit the truck and are standing outside this gate, the locks of it already no longer there. And thanks to your techie friend, you basically have the run of the place, so long as you can keep yourself quiet. There's only one or two guards outside of the building. The medicines inside of the building. It's a one-story sort of warehouse-looking building. Nothing too hard to get into. Just need to stay quiet and stay out of sight.
Yeah, she keeps low. She makes her way around kind of quietly. She takes her time mapping the guards and gets to the supplies that she's after. This is kind of like child's play. She's done this 100 times.
Exactly. And so you, much like every other time, you slip in, keeping very quiet, keeping your sidearm at your side, just in case things get a little dicey. You make your way to the safe where the medicines are stashed. You punch in a code that you've been given by one of your contacts in the mercenary world. It unlocks, and to your surprise, doesn't sound off any alarms. You half expected this to be shady shit. You half expected this to be some gonk code that may have gotten you trapped, but seems like your contact pulled through. You take your bag, you stuff it full of the things that you're stealing, and make your way out of the building. But not before somebody catches you off guard and screams at you to stop. What do?
I've got everything I came for. I run for it.
Make a mad dash for the truck.
Absolutely.
You hop into the truck, and as soon as Sam sees that you have closed the back of the truck. He floors it. He starts racing through the lanes of traffic. The alleyway goes from just a single lane alley to the major streets of the Haywood neighborhood, and he begins to just floor it to as fast as the chew will go. And you worry just a little bit because there's some NCPD officers that may have caught the fact that your truck is speeding off, but this isn't the first time that you've outrun the cops. Sam, doing his best, leads down some more alleyways, and after a while loses the tail and gets you both back to your mega building. An ever-high skyscraper. A city within a city in itself. He parks the car in the parking structure and gets out. Looks like he's rubbing some sweat from his brow and kind of takes a swig of, looks like an open beer in the front seat. Holy fuck.
Oh my god, that was close.
A little too close. It was starting to look like he was gonna fire at you and get you in your ass or something.
Well, I'm glad I could count on you.
Well, you're the one who's got the goods, Chica.
Yeah, she opens the bag and shows him the inside, shows that everything was managed.
Man, to think that some people are hoarding this shit, keeping it from the rest of us.
Look, I'm not sure that we're exactly passing it off to the best hands either, but
That gotta make eddies, right?
gotta make eddies.
Though you never really did tell me who you were selling this off to.
Why don't you not worry about the part?
Why, are you going to Reagan's or something?
No, not Reagan. He's got his own supplies, don't worry. He doesn't need me working for him. But, it might be one of the gang.
No.
I might be stealing from Peter to pay for Paul.
Jesus Christ, Lou.
Well, they pay well. And we gotta eat.
Yeah? I guess. As long as you get my cut, right?
That's right.
Because you wouldn't have been able to get out of there without me.
I'll always take care of you.
Well, that's why we're, bunkmates, right? He starts leading towards the elevator to lead to your shared apartment.
Not a lot of people I can trust around here.
Well, not a lot of people I can trust either, but sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. And it's about that time as you're walking out of the elevator at your floor towards your shared apartment that you do see a Mr. Reagan McAllister start walking the hallways of the mega building, coming from what looks like a food stand that's kind of parked outside in the midst of the hallway. Well. If it isn't the little youngsters.
Reagan! How you been, old timer?
I'm not old, for one. And for two, I'm doing just fine.
Ah, I don't care.
Of course you don't. What is a little rascal like you care about the goings on of the world? What you get yourself into this time?
She pats the bag and says, just you read about it in the paper tomorrow.
You think you're making headline news on the N54?
Not likely.
No. I don't need any trouble coming to my building.
No, we wouldn't want trouble now, would we? Sam? No trouble, right?
No, no trouble at all.
No trouble at all, sir. She gives him one of these.
Reagan just kind of sighs and just kind of groans as he's walking by. Better not. If I hear one more time that you've gotten yourself into bigger trouble than you can actually handle, I'm gonna cost you more eddies than you know how to even gather.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, Reagan. Uh, we'll always take care of the corners of the block you can't take care of anyway.
You can almost hear the sort of grimace that he makes as he's walking away. Not that you've actually see his face or that he is grimacing, but you know when his pace starts to get a little tense. You've seen him walk by very tensely many times because you've had this conversation more than once. You make your way to your apartment. And now, Lou, it is time to make a call to the person that you're meant to sell this to.
Yeah. She pulls a burner phone out of a vent somewhere in the apartment and dials a number. It has 14 digits.
You hear a somewhat distorted voice on the other side, maybe on purpose, maybe not. Hello?
Yeah, got the stuff.
Good. 3 a.m. The usual place. Don't be late.
She hangs up the phone.
Sam has already gone to pick out something from the vending machine in the apartment to snack on, sliding a bill into the slot and a packet of what looks like synth meat beef jerky. He opens up the packet and starts munching on it.
I snatch it out of his hand
Hey!
and take a few pieces of it, and then toss it back to him. What? I need some too.
Well, when you get the Eddies, then maybe we can actually go out to a buck a slice.
Yeah, we'll get something nice. Don't worry. Three a.m. Don't sleep too late.
You want me to go with you?
Nah. Just be on the other end of the phone for me.
I'm always on the other end of the phone for you.
Yeah, I know, Sam.
Little while later, 3 a.m. comes along and you're standing in the usual spot. The corner of a couple of streets in an alleyway, a couple blocks down from your mega building. Who were you meeting?
I don't super know. This would be somebody in a maybe a more violent, a more chaotic gang, maybe less like I know that there are gangs which are like corporate sponsored. This is maybe one that's not.
Maybe that distorted voice maybe makes sense when you see a man whose face, half of his face, is replaced by red lights. The signature of Maelstrom. Gangers that shouldn't be in this particular neck of the woods, as the Valentinos would probably shoot them dead on sight. But you've agreed to meet here, and on Valentino turf. So they're the unwelcome guests in this case. But you see kind of a stronger man. He looks like he's got some scars from all of the sort of cyberware that he's augmented and detached from himself over the various years. Kind of looks at you with those sort of red orbs that are replaced his eyes. They kind of wiggle in their socket, much like eyeballs do, but they don't blink. Almost like a spider's face when you look at him. And he is accompanied by kind of a lankier guy, still the same sort of red eyeballs in his face. A various sort of spider-like looking appearance. And in that same distorted voice that you heard on the hollow, this first man says, "You got the gear."
Yeah, she's obviously a lot smaller than them physically, but she's got her hands just kind of tucked in her pockets. She's got her hips thrust out and her head kind of cocked up. And she kind of just kicks the bag over to him. She says, "You got the Eddies?"
He picks up the bag. He doesn't answer you right away. And he unzips it. And you see him pull out what looks like an inhaler. And he takes a puff of it. That's the good stuff. Yeah, I got your Eddies, kid. And he kind of flicks his finger at you, and you see over your HUD that you have been transferred 1,000 Eddies in payment. You know it's not going to get you through the whole month. This is significantly less than this particular stuff goes for, even, and you know that. What do you do?
She says, "Hey, I went to a lot of risk to do business with you.
Yeah.
So, what's with the chump change, chump?"
Think a kid like you needs more than 1,000 Eddies? He starts with his chum to start to walk away.
And if they turn around, there's a pistol pointed at them. Bless you. And it's like cocked all shittily. It's not like very serious at all. Is this a robbery or a sale?
Get lost, Pipsqueak. And he pulls out his own gun just in case you do start to fire at him, but does still continue to walk away towards their own vehicle. Anything else you wish to say or do before he gets in his car and drives away? A Maelstrom spray printed logo on the side of this car. It's kind of beat up. It kind of looks like a shitty car anyway.
I mean, is there anything that I would think to do?
Well, there's always the guns ablazing, try and shoot his tires out, but you're probably gonna get shot back. And
I'm gonna fight two guys on one. I don't think that's the smart play.
No, you know that. That's definitely the dumb play.
Mm-hmm.
The smarter play is just to take your change and go.
Yeah, but I'm also not gonna get ripped off for nothing. I shoot the bag.
Okay. In fact, roll a firearms. A pistol firearm for your a roll for your pistol, just to see how accurately you're able to shoot.
Yeah, how do I do that?
I believe there is a button for that.
Yeah, I just do that right on the thing, don't I?
Yeah, because I think you have for your pistol, it should be under ranged weapons, and then you should be able to select your pistol firearm and click it.
Let me just find out right quick. There. Sorry, bear with me. So, I don't think that I did this right.
It's under the skills, I believe.
Okay. I see that my weapon category was never set right.
Oh. Yeah,
so I don't think it's gonna pick it up right. Let me fix that really quick.
Okay.
Weapon skill. Handgun. Those. Okay, good. Attack. What is
okay?
That?
So you're not very far. You're probably within the short range. So you blast your heavy handgun. It is, and this is a beefy gun. You you make the shot, and it blows right through the bag, and kind of you see that medicines and air hypos have just exploded and gone everywhere. Their contents just kind of misting out into the air, and
he yells, "Keep the change."
Okay. Well, this guy he's pissed. I don't exactly have a dice roll ready for him, but he's going to attempt to fire back at you. I'm just going to say with a similar gun. So I'm just going to roll a d10, see what happens.
Cool.
Although I don't think a 3 is necessarily going to do it. I think
Fantastic.
you're successfully able to get yourself out of the way, start heading back towards whatever vehicle you brought, and start racing down the street.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's runaway time.
Yeah, runaway time. Shots have been
And
fired.
they can't follow me anyway.
Yep. Shots have been fired. You hear that maybe someone down the road heard it, and there's shouting, more gunshots that you hear. And that's the last that Lou even cares about what's happening in the streets tonight, because she is on her way back home.
It shouldn't have worked.
Shouldn't have worked. But Lou has...
Luck of the devil.
Lou has the luck of the devil. I think that's where we will then transition to another of our lovely members of this particular game. Orvan.
Hello, everyone. I am Kartoffel Herzog Keys, but most just call me Keys. I am playing Orvan Bernadotte, a former trauma team medic, currently indisposed to a bit of an accident.
In fact, why don't we go ahead and have a little bit of a chat about said accident, Mr. Bernadotte?
Oh, it was a shame. Such a shame. The poor kid. The gangs got to him. We got him to the AV. Couple people were harmed along the way, but we don't really care about them. They're not the client after all. But we were not fast enough. Died in the AV. Someone had to take the blame. Company couldn't. So it was me. Now, no job. I believe I even made the news. I at least hope that the anchor was an attractive one, at least. Probably not, though. But, out of a job, I had to start making scratch a different way. Using my medical talents. And hoping that it doesn't happen again. But, Night City, someone's gonna need me.
Your mind flashes back to that night. You and your team had arrived on scene, telling the I guess what people would call scavs to get on the ground that they, or you would fire. The team did. They raided this haunt, finding many who had been picked apart for their cyberware and maybe even for their soft tissue. Many who died on the table under their operating knife. Your client was the only one who had trauma coverage amongst all of them. The son of a corpo. The son of a known person in the ranks of Arasaka. You get to the site. You pass by all of the other victims of these scavs, shooting the perpetrators dead along your way. You get to your client. He's not breathing. You and your team strap him to a gurney, affix a heart rate monitor to his chest. But his legs, his arms, known cyberware, already ripped off. You administer an air hypo to stem the bleeding, but it'll only work for so long. Your team evacuates, get back in the AV. A team member, a somewhat new guy, is kind of fumbling around with the instruments in the back of the AV while the driver aims to get you both to the headquarters for trauma, where this person can be properly treated for his injuries and replacement limbs made. But as you're trying to direct him, maybe it was the wrong drug, maybe it was the wrong dose, maybe it was just him not administering it right. But the kid's heart rate tanks. The heart rate monitor is beeping wildly as you try to administer CPR in a last-ditch effort to try and keep him alive. Your teammate's panicking. He's no use to you anymore at the moment. You shove him out of the way. You do your best to keep this kid alive.
But in the end... Sorry, wrong accent there. But in the end, it was not enough. Not enough.
Ebenezer Costanza stands in the entryway as you and the AV wheel this kid, already dead, into a hospital room. Costanza's pissed. He goes to your boss and begins to tear that son of a bitch a whole new one.
Knowing what he had to do, he would have stepped forward and thrown himself under the bus, knowing if he threw the new guy, wouldn't be right. But his boss, he was a good guy. A lot of knowledge under him, and he was the one flying. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have made it here nearly as fast. So he does it. Takes the brunt. But in the end, costs him his job. Taking the blame all on his shoulders.
Your boss even expresses that you are extremely lucky that the higher-ups don't call for your head as a result. But maybe that's because your boss is good with words. That he's good at making peace with those who would lash out. And so where do we find you now, Orvan?
Probably at home. Most likely cooking a little bit of a meal. from some synth meat, whatever else he could get. Hating the quality of the ingredients, but doing some at least homemade cooking. Thinking back on this, shaking his head, and checking one of his multitude of burner phones, making sure that he doesn't have any patients or anything.
You check the phone. No new calls at the moment. A text from Johnson, though.
You definitely look at that one. Because he doesn't normally contact me.
Just says, need some help. I need help. You need Eddie's.
He would definitely raise his eyebrow at that. His ginger-haired eyebrow matches the hair. He sighs, takes his food off the burner, puts it in some kind of container in the fridge. If it's important enough for him to call him now, it's important enough that dinner can wait a little bit. Gets his gear, grabs the pistol, puts it in the holster, slings the rifle over his shoulder with the backpack with medical equipment and other assorted items. Sighs to himself. Damn it, this is why I wish I had a car. And would have to go to wherever he said to meet.
And you go to meet him. Excuse me real quick. Be right back, everybody. And we're back, everyone. Orvan had just taken a text from his buddy Johnson. Someone who is a contact at Trauma Team, if I remember correctly.
I believe it was his old sergeant. If I remember correctly, he was the one flying the AV.
Someone who knew your talents all too well. You meet him nowhere near the Trauma Team building, obviously, because that would cause a whole lot of other ruckus. And there's maybe a number of Trauma Team who probably would put your head on a pike as a result of upsetting the corporate interests.
Sadly. But that's probably why we're most likely meeting, I'd say, probably in the park in Corpo Square.
City Center. And it's midday. Most everyone who's here is enjoying the sights, talking amongst themselves, having conversations, maybe even having a brief lunch that their corporate overlords have allowed for them today. You see, Johnson has also gotten himself a a box of noodles and is chowing down at the little bits of vegetable and noodle that are inside.
Orvan would walk over, slinging the backpack off his shoulder, putting it next to the chair, sitting down, lifting the goggles up. Johnson, you don't call me very often.
No, I don't. But I kind of could use your help. And I'm pretty sure that you could use the eddies.
Always do, especially after what happened. But
How was
we're here because you need me. What do you need?
Right down to business. Got it. I need... Well, I need a driver.
Driver?
Yeah, someone who could drive me out of a situation and patch things up should they get crazy.
Alright. Because it's you, you got a deal. 2 questions. 1, how much you paying? 2, when and where?
I'm not the one paying.
Okay.
I have a fixer. He's more the one that needs your help.
Gotcha.
Name's Octavio.
Octavio. Coffee. Would Orvan, with his very limited knowledge of fixers and edge running, would he know this name?
You've only just gotten into the gig. This is nobody that you've heard of. At least not any of the famous ones. You've heard of names like Johnny Silverhand or Rogue or other such famous names like Morgan Blackhand, but some schmuck named Octavio? No.
Okay. So, he looks him. Alright. Where am I meeting?
He's putting together a job. And, well, he needs somebody with medical expertise, and I figured you'd need the money, so I'm fixing you with the fixer.
You should get into the fixing gig there, Johnson.
Nah. Trauma
By the way, how's the team?
Fine. I mean,
That's good.
aside from the fact that everybody's asking questions and everybody's seen the N54 news and your name plastered all over the damn thing.
Yeah, that one's a bit annoying, but it's better than the alternative.
And diehard Constanza's not gonna sit still and wait for you to die.
No, I don't think they will. But that is a problem for a future Orvan. Right now, I guess I'm seeing this Octavio.
You'll meet him in Haywood.
Haywood. Okay. I don't think I've been down there too often.
Well, if you like you like slumming it just like everybody else, it's gonna feel like home.
Then definitely not home. Definitely not home. Well, did they say where I'm meeting? Are we meeting at a diner, warehouse, Megaplex, whatever?
You're gonna meet at a little church down there.
Oh, we got a religious one. Or maybe it's just a good... Alright. This a night meeting, or did they just say show up whenever?
I'll give him your deets. I'll tell him to call you.
Got it. Thanks, Johnson. And good luck.
Look, I don't go out of my way to help very many people, and we're keeping this on the on the down low, so that I don't get my neck wrung for helping your ass.
Trust me, I appreciate it.
Yeah, well...
Not too many people who are willing to stick their neck out for others in this city.
Yeah, well, I'm not really sticking my neck out.
Yeah, probably just the pinky.
My hand gets chopped off, I'm blaming you. I'm coming after you right next to Costanza.
Trust me. You'd have to get in line. He'd stand up, sling the backpack again. Don't get caught unawares, Johnson. I'd hate to have to go to your funeral.
Well, I don't deserve any kind of plaque at the columbarium anyway.
I'd still probably try to get you one. One of the few people in this city who deserve it.
Just trying to make a buck like everyone else.
Single sentence and a 2-finger salute from the goggles as he walks away.
All right. We'll come back to that in a bit. Next, we have Trix.
Hello. Most of you know me already. I'm Raven. I will be playing Trix, our former nomad turned netrunner. Coming out of a... I want to say destroyed clan. She's the only one left out of it. Came to Night City to try and get her life together, and been stuck here ever since.
And the only thing left having you hang on to your nomad past is your bike and your ratty old vest.
Needs more repairs than it's worth some nights, but
that's what family jackets are. They stick with you like family.
It's the only thing I'll ever have left of mine. Well, for the most part. Gotta sell everything else just to get a start here.
So, tell us a little bit about Trix. What does she look like? What does she wear? What can we expect from good old Trix?
Trix is a young woman who's about in her 20s. Purple hair, kind of shaved on one side and then combed over. She got eye implants in that color shifts over to a purplish violet color. Most days she's still wearing that ratty old vest. Her leathers keeps them in as good a condition as she can. She's got a few piercings here and there and a couple tattoos she got while she was out with her family, and she's relatively new to net running. Sorry, the cats are just being brats. Relatively new to net running, but She prefers using older equipment. She doesn't have the latest up-to-date, tech. If anything, hers probably falls within maybe 2 to 3 years behind. And then when that gets far too outdated for her to work with, that's when she'll upgrade and still stays within 2 years back from current. But as long as it works. The older stuff's always been reliable. Like her bike. It was old when she got it. It still runs.
Your thoughts may be drifting to your family as Nathaniel is fitting you with a newer model of Cyberdeck. The Ripperdoc kind of working directly in the back of your skull to attach this Cyberdeck to the neurons of your brain. You can kind of feel the instruments of his hands kind of working back there just a little bit, but there's no pain. He's given you plenty of pain meds to be able to cope with it. But after about an hour in the chair, he presses the last bit of plate to the back of your skull, sealing the deck inside of your head. This may be the first time that you've really had a go with non-tactile cyberdecks. He sits you up very, very carefully and makes sure that you're still resting in a sort of recovery position while he goes through the process of loading all of your programs into your deck while he's got, say, the plug still attached to you. How you feeling, kiddo?
Feels different. But just like getting new ink.
Well, I suggest taking it easy for a little bit. You might have to adjust. It's still an older model. Well, get you what I can. But it's not the latest and greatest of the Arasaka prototypes. It's last year's model.
Hey, it'll work. As long as it works, I'm happy with it.
You thought about getting any other chrome?
Nah. Happy with what I've got so far. Don't think I'll ever move on from that.
Ow.
You think so? You don't think that you're gonna want to one day be chromed out like every other psycho out there?
What, and be like Maelstrom? Hell fucking no.
Well, I wasn't necessarily thinking Maelstrom level. I was thinking more, Edge Runner level.
I don't know, maybe.
Gotta make Eddie somehow, kid. I can't keep giving you this stuff for free.
I'm working on making some. Jason's been teaching me more.
That's good. Don't want those demons frying your brain. Not when I just put some fancy new tech in there.
What, like they almost did his a few years ago?
Look, he's the one who decided not to get into the ice bath and nearly overcooked his brain.
I'm still giving him shit over that.
I told him he needs to wear the suit, or he needs to find other ways to cool himself down, because that shit runs hot. And I'm giving you the same warnings.
I don't plan on being that stupid.
Yeah, well, some of those programs you've got loaded into that thing might fry your brain one day. Especially if they're bounced back at you.
I promise I will be careful, and if I am not, you can bring me back long enough to kill me yourself.
I wouldn't. Look,
or
I
at
like
least bring me around long enough to smack some sense into me.
Smack some sense into you, maybe. But, bringing you back from the brink, that's miracle worker shit.
You are a miracle worker.
You sing my praises where there are none.
Look, you manage to fit me with older stuff all the time. Can't be that easy.
Yeah, well. You've been my little motorcycle head ever since you came to this city, so somebody's got to look out for you. And it sure as hell ain't going to be any corpos.
Certainly not.
No,
I appreciate it every step of the way.
It's in her strip a nomad like you, top to bottom.
Not like it hasn't happened before. But as for the chrome, give me a little bit to get used to this. To get further into it, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, certainly don't want you going psycho.
Not like what happened to her.
Did you ever find out what happened to her?
No. She started going crazy in our apartment, left, and that was the end of it.
Like you didn't hear any max tax sirens or anything like that?
No. Who knows how far she got before anyone got to her. I had to hear them all the time anyway.
Yeah, well. Just don't want her coming back for you and seeking some kind of vengeance because she got too chromed up too quickly. She was addicted to the knife, that one.
I don't think it was so much the knife as it was her own experiments.
Experiments?
The things she'd come up with, the new tech she'd create. It was great ideas, but she wouldn't try it on anyone else. It always had to be herself. And I get it. I get why.
And I'm sure some back alley hack is the one who hacked her together to put all that shit in. 'Cause I sure as hell wasn't going to see her going down that road.
Yeah. She just took it too far.
Yeah, well. It's no use crying over spilt milk, I guess.
Nope. Only thing we can do is smile and carry on.
Got any idea how you're gonna carry on now?
Found a cheap place to stay.
That's good.
Or got some older stuff thanks to Jason, and get that set up in there and see what I can do.
Alright. Well. You know, I might...
It'll be fine. I promise.
Look, if you need anything, you know my door's always open.
I know.
Whether it's to patch you up or whether it's to kick your ass and get some... go and get some rent money.
Might just hang around here once in a while. Lack of anything better to do.
Well,
This is second home.
Well, if you're going to put yourself to work here, then you might as well, get used to the... And he kind of wiggles the instrument hand that that he kind of operated on your head with. It's still maybe a little bloody.
And she's just going to playfully swat it out her face.
Alright.
Yeah, you stop that.
What else is a Ripper Doc to do, huh?
I don't know, be a Ripper Doc?
Well, yes. Well, go on, get out of here. You're gonna have to pay for that thing one way or another.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I'm
Miracle.
calling in a favor or anything, but...
No, I know. I know you're not worried about it right now. I'll come by and see Jason tomorrow so he can teach me how to properly use this thing.
Just get some rest. Some sleep. And he hands you what looks like an air hypo and tells you, if the pain starts up again, take a puff of this.
Got it. She's gonna pocket it and start to get up.
And you're maybe a little woozy, maybe a little dizzy, but it's nothing you can't handle.
Probably gonna do one of those little stumble things and hold out her arms for balance. I think I was laying there a little too long.
Get home safe, alright? Don't let me hear about your crash on the news.
I will at least call Jason the second I get home. I promise. What could possibly go wrong? And she's gonna walk out the door with that statement.
You don't fucking say that. You don't fucking say that.
You make your way back to your apartment, Trix. A little wobbly. Your bike parked in the parking structure. You take your elevator up to your apartment. It's a rather tiny apartment, given that you could really only afford a sort of... They call them micro spaces. It's really just a bed and a TV sort of hanging over it. The sort of spinning holograms that you're used to seeing in televisions these days, with advertisements aplenty to rot your brain with. But that's
On the bed,
really it.
probably a box of screens and other equipment she had been sent. Might as well get those hung up. Started.
You start setting up some of your equipment for your at-home your at-home chair that you may eventually get fully set up. Do you call
Work on that.
Do you call your friend?
Probably within the next 30 minutes after she gets home, because she will have just seen that God started, lost track of time,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, wait, shit, and then calls him.
And he answers. Dad sent you home an hour ago.
I know, it's my bad. I got here safely. Wouldn't I should have. I got busy setting up all the things you sent. Because in order for me to lay down, I had to clear off the bed, and you know how things go. But hey, it's starting to look good.
Well, that's good, because definitely want you to have your own chair set up. This way you can, monitor your vitals when you're cooking your brain.
Exactly. I got here just fine. A little bit wobbly, but being out beyond the city kind of helped prepare for that. All the off-roading.
You're not going off-roading anytime soon, are you?
Oh, hell no. No, it just, helped with the dizziness when driving back.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because the Badlands can be pretty brutal when when you go flying off of some kind of rock or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you learn how to dodge real fast because you don't want to land in a cactus.
Yeah.
Been there a couple times.
I can't even imagine. I'm 100% a city boy.
Well, you know what? You've shown me your city. One of these days, when this thing gets healed up properly, I'll take you out and show you my Badlands.
That'd be nice. I don't
Get you on a bike and get you out there in the middle of the desert.
I don't know about all that fresh air or nothing.
Ah, it's good for you.
Maybe. Isn't that what the nomads say about the open road? Is that it's all supposed to be good for you?
And it is. Traveling place to place, nice open sky. Get to see the stars. You can't see them here in the city. No. Here in Haywood it's a little bit better, but still nothing like out there.
I'll have to take your word for it for now.
Grab you and Nathan and go out there on a couple-day trip.
Well, so long as we're not, pushing the borders of the Night City's, road space, because... Well, if you go out too far, they'll shoot you dead.
Yeah, it's true, but that's part of the thrill.
I don't know what kind of thrills you're seeking. That sounds like not the kind of thrills I'm seeking.
We'll go just far enough that I can show you the real stars, but not far enough out that we'll be in any sort of danger.
Alright.
Because the border patrol out there is the least of your concerns.
Okay.
Remember how I got here, don't you?
Yeah? Didn't you say something about Raffin?
Mm-hmm. That's why I said the border patrol is the least of your worries.
They don't sound like the kind I would want to, get caught by.
They're not. I will spare you the details.
Alright.
No. I will see you tomorrow, then, so we can continue on.
Alright. Try to get some rest, alright, Trixie?
I will. Catch you later, Blunder.
I hate that name.
Right as he starts saying I hate, she's ending the call. I'm getting back to work. This is her rest. She's never been one to just lie around if she can help it.
Hmm. Which brings us to the last member of our Stargazers. a woman who goes by Slideye. Slideye, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good evening. Try that again. Good evening, everybody. My name's MacabreDerek, and I will be playing Slideye for this cyberpunking game. Slideye is someone whose life fell apart. A cyber psycho attack changed everything. This is a story that has been told by thousands of denizens of Night City. What makes this one a little bit different is she was that psycho. Max Tack has a dirty little secret. Oftentimes having to bring in some heavy hardware. It starts off with being gain that little bit of chrome, a lot of it cosmetic, you know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but when you can look however you so choose, head to your local Ripper Doc and they can end up making all your wildest dreams come true. The screen sheets end up plugging in ads where you end up seeing yourself on the cover. Sure, they can end up generating it, but there's just something about the authentic experience, even when there's nothing authentic about you. But starts coming together. You hope to end up making a life for yourself. Maybe prove mommy and daddy that they were wrong to end up snubbing you for all those little things you wanted. Modifications start to take in. Fame starts to get out. You're somebody in Night City. Congratulations, you made the big time. And then all it takes is being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Carjacking goes south. Interrupting one of your big breaks. And all that stress piles up and something just gives. Of course, given the fact that you can swap anything out for anything now, it doesn't make sense to not be packing something. But then the psychosis takes place. It's all just meat. It's all just parts. And it's all just watching it get flushed away. And by the time you come to, you realize you've been disassembled like an AV. And then what? Maybe you get lucky. That's what they said about me anyway. Lucky because they ended up deciding to end up putting you together. You end up being a mound of synth skin with perfect curves. Try and make a go of it again, but everybody won't touch you because, well, not only you damage goods, you damage the brand. Everything you touch gets damaged. Then you think back to what can you do to make a little bit of scratch. Working in some noodle shop at the ass end of Watson. End up making a little bit, get along, just scraping together a few eddies. How Nova. The Night City reminds you of a fact. You're either somebody or you're nobody. It doesn't hold still for passerbys. And you want to make it. Can't keep waiting. You know, I look right up at Arasaka Tower now and I think, God, I miss them. I miss it a lot, really. There's nothing quite like flying through Night City in a Navy. But then guess what? It all comes crashing down and you're down to your last few eddies and you got a decision to make. Yeah, you might be able to live off of it for another month or two. If you really want to stretch it, you might go a year. Depends. You interested in digging through trash? Cuddling up with another warm body, turning yourself out for another quick flip? Yeah. I didn't think so. So you could end up going back to it. Took what little I had, sold everything else off. Now I gotta end up realizing the one thing I'm good for with all this plastic, useless civilian tech used for aesthetics, putting it on like lipstick. No. It's time to get chipped in for real. And I worry. I already saw that line. And I hate it. But what are you gonna be? It's like Night City proved. Like I said. You're either somebody or you're nothing.
I need to take a quick break, everybody, so we'll be right back.
No worries.
Alright, we're back, everyone. We were just speaking with Slideye just a little bit about the goings on in her own mind. One such night, you find yourself wandering around the streets of Santo Domingo. The sort of hidey hole that you found yourself in. The suburbs, if you can call them that, of Night City. Single level homes for many, many streets on end. The occasional bucket slice on the corner. The occasional chew station down the road. But all of it sort of small in comparison to the city center, where the towers of Arasaka and Militech and Petrochem sort of tower over everything.
It's hard not to get lost in the lights. 3 pillars of advertising glory that light up most of Night City, yeah, so much that you can almost barely find the moon. I'm walking around, just finished pawning off the last little tidbits I had, save for a trinket or two. Got a few places to squat for the next little bit, but I'm just another one of those in Night City. Eddie's, pardon the pun, in pocket. I gotta settle with my soul, so to speak. I think it's because of what I know I'm gonna be doing. How deep can you dive before it takes you again? I'm currently on my way to see Jesprit. Monk. Not a lot of people try and make friends with monks. With everybody trying to end up getting the latest update, trying to end up making it all work out, plugging in, swapping parts, getting chrome. Monks took a vow against it. Your body's a temple. Something to be respected, something to be held on. You can't just replace the Gannic all day. After all, what's left of you then? Then again, what's left of me? And I realize I'm thinking like that again, just like Jesprit warned me not to do. That's how it starts, they say. You start detaching. You stop thinking about your hand as your hand, and now start thinking of it as the latest model. And when you disassociate like that, you start to disassociate with everybody else around you. I have to remind myself that it was a person that put that god-awful flamingo on the front lawn, sitting there all pink and staring at you with those dead eyes. Having to remind yourself that it's a person that ended up deciding to do that. Not if it's an upgrade, but for an aesthetic purpose. Just to be cute, make a laugh, have a reaction. And I see them as they walk by. Walking by a Bucker Slice now, and there's a couple of gonks currently just stuffing their face, laughing. Don't see any gang colors on them, not that I know that one too well, but it is enough to end up knowing that people are able to laugh. When was the last time I laughed? Not the scoffing or the laughing in someone's face. I mean, really gave into that level of joy. I'm guarded all the time because of it. And this is what goes on in my world. Having to constantly check your thoughts, be mindful, and try not to think about the fact that they're all replaceable.
As you're walking by, you see the usual spot where Jesprit could be seen meditating. If meditating is what you would want to call it. Really, it just looks like he's sitting on his knees, his hands clasped in front of him, dressed in an orange robe, his body free of all technology and tattoos, his head shaved, showcasing his tan skin.
I sit in front of him and try and mirror his pose, though it gets a little bit difficult with that one joint on my left side. Keeps wanting to fritz because, well, had to end up replacing parts just to end up making sure that it's, well, on the cheap. It's tough putting yourself back together when you're little more than a brain and a torso, yeah, chunk held together by plastic and metal. Outside, I probably look pretty normal. Handful of surgical scars, but nothing synth skin can't cover. I almost imagine it's this strange yin-yang. He seems to have the discipline of a machine. Meanwhile, I'm the wreck. Meanwhile, he's more meatware than I am. I try not to interrupt with a hello, but instead try and join him in that meditation till he's ready to acknowledge me. It's trying to respect his beliefs and his practices. But then again, who else is going to help you, you know? Treatment centers end up costing you an arm and a leg, but Tish.
It's bad. That was bad.
You see that his eyes open. Good evening.
And to you, just please. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. How have you been?
I'm gonna cut to the chase. I can't find work. I can't find anything that's gonna do the job. So, I've heard of a few people in the street who are looking for, well, looking for a helping hand. I'm currently just processing. Ended up getting some, gotta hit a few tactical shards on the down low right now. But it's not gonna be enough. Put aside everything, and I realized that I don't have that reflex anymore. Not since they tore it out of me. So I gotta rely on a crutch again.
It was your decision to have that crutch removed, was it not?
It's still there, isn't it? She raises her hand and has it rotate, and it's very clear it rotates a little bit further than the typical human hand. That little bit of flexibility that is just borderline inhuman.
You have come a long way to reclaim yourself. I understand that the world goes round with $1. That one must sustain themselves the best in which they can. For myself, it is from the generosity of others. But you...
Yeah.
What is it you seek in advice tonight, Slideye?
I keep having the thoughts again. I keep having the thoughts when I... not only about what I'm gonna do when I walk by people. Saw one guy walking around with... I could have swore it was, Militech. Spinal augmentation. Couldn't see it past the jacket, but I knew what it was. And I just can't get over the fact that when I see that, you could tear it out of him. And you're not tearing into a person anymore. And then it starts all over again.
The vicious cycle.
And I'm trying to practice the mindfulness that you ended up teaching me. Jaspreet, I don't know on how you keep on top of that. I try and practice. I've been doing my meditations. I've been taking the suppressants. And low now. Even with all the hardware gone, there's still that thing. It's like my brain's broken. And I'm wanting to get better. I'm trying to.
And you will.
But better costs Eddies.
Better does cost. It takes commitment. It takes discipline. It takes practice. You have come from a long, dark path. You nearly lost yourself to the machine. You were lucky.
Now, to get by, I gotta do it again. Night City doesn't give you a choice.
You always have a choice.
She looks pained in that expression across her face. She's wondering if she really is lying to herself. Night City eats... Oh, go ahead.
He was just going to reach out a hand and put it on her shoulder.
Night City eats. That's all it does.
That is
and
true.
what am I supposed to do? Take up nomad life? See if there's a clan out there that'll take me in? Knowing what I am? Or do I keep it hidden and just fade away? That's not me. I know it was made for something more. I know it was there for the spotlight. There was a time when she looks up at the 3 pillars of advertisements and light going up into the clouds. There was a time my face looked down on the whole of Night City. I knew that I was becoming a somebody. And I can't do it that anymore. Not like that. When you hear about the stories of Morgan Blackhand, Adam Smasher.
Is that who you wish to be? Do you wish to be an Adam Smasher? Or a Morgan Blackhand? Or a Johnny Silverhand? Someone whose works have meant nothing to this city. Not truly. Being surrounded by your fellow human being and doing your best to aid them. Those who are the same as you, those who are lower than you. Those are the true somebodies of Night City. The ones who mean something. They have no name. They have no fame.
It's like they never existed.
And to some, that is all that they want. To simply exist, and then simply not.
And how is that any better? At least this is a choice. It's not an accident. It's not a snap. It's a choice. Don't I get one? Be more than just someone's doll. You know, go over to the Moxie, plug myself in, day in, day out.
You're not a doll.
Why not? Got most of the hardware for it. A few quick mods. And just turn your brain off for a bit. Then just clean up afterwards and not worry or stress too much about the bruises because, hey, you don't bruise anymore. Not with synth skin.
I don't think that's the life you want.
Well, what good am I then?
You're my friend.
Yeah, just be. There you are. And I am so scared, wondering how to do this. But I can't keep living like this. I can't do it like you do. I want to. I'm just not built of the same stuff.
I think what you tend to do is you give yourself very little credit for how strong you are. Yes, you did fall to addiction. But you have since rose up. You have since become the beautiful woman that I see before me now. A woman. A human. Perhaps the artificial parts can't be fully replaced with organic ones again. But that makes you no less human. Even Atom Smasher is still human. Even Maelstrom is still human.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember that. Just wait. I gotta go. I got an appointment I gotta get to. I will come back to you. I promise you that. I gotta make a choice. She grabs hold of her hand, and she knows that it's all just signals being sent to her brain. She's not actually feeling his hand when she takes it. That warmth, the meatware is still there. So real.
And he takes her hand and kind of just holds it for a moment. See you again soon?
Yeah. Yeah, just wait. I'll do that. She stands up, giving a small bow in the tradition of the monk. Before starting. And she starts to walk to the street. Double checks everything. Just enough to get an old toy back. enough to step her down the path. It's time to go solo.
You make your way out of the district of Santo Domingo and towards the Ripperdoc that you've become acquainted with in Haywood. A man by the name of Nathaniel Palmer. A man who's been working on you to swap your full chrome, back out for more traditional parts. Hands, legs.
Yeah. I'm not sure on if he's going to be disappointed. But I gotta take it slow. Not like I got the eddies to go full Borg. And even if I did, would that be the right idea? Oh, if you escape dancing with the devil the first time, why would you even attempt an encore performance? And this is my world. I bounce between these two thoughts, the reality of it being so cheap as to be a can of Nicola, and also knowing how dangerous it is, not in the academic sense like you hear everybody else talking about in the scream sheets. No, it's real. It's more real than I am. So I'm going in Nathaniel.
You walk into his clinic. Seems to be, since it's pretty late, he seems to be putting things together so that he could maybe lock up in a few moments. The only real Ripperdoc in this particular office is operating chair empty for the moment. And he looks up at you when you walk in. Hey.
Hey, Doc. God, this is awkward.
Something on the fritz?
Partly. I need to replace something.
Replace?
Joints acting up. Yeah.
Well, a quick adjustment, and I can get you out of here in no time.
It's not a quick adjustment I'm here for. I need it replaced. Completely. And I need... She hesitates to even say this. I need a T2 10X model. Can't afford the pair right now, but it's older. They said it's safer. But I gotta start doing something. So I'm throwing my hat in with the gigs.
And the gigs are requiring you to take on a T2 10X.
Look, it's complicated, okay? I either do this or I don't make it. I'm not gonna go full on. I need something on the side, something I know, something that's not just shipped in and installed, something that I know I can use. She maybe hesitates when she thinks about it. Echoes of a memory, or maybe imagination of screaming, of people being peeled apart. How little it takes for a rib cage to give way. How easy it is to slide blade into meat. Almost like air. And she shakes the screaming out of her head for a brief moment. Yeah, I'm T210X. No custom jobs, no retrofits, just clean hack and swap. Plug and play. Nothing. Doc, most of the parts aren't even organic anymore.
I know.
I'm damn near. It's not going to take long. I got the eddies. I'm good for it, I swear.
That's not what I'm worried about. You say you need it, Slideye. And I know how that track starts. You've only been seeing me for a little while now.
I know. Hey, you made good eddies off the chrome you already took out of me, okay? I'm not asking for you to give it back. I'm not asking for a refund. I'm doing this fresh start.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
And I need somebody who knows the risk. Not just a hypothetical. I need somebody who knows where this started.
Oh.
And somebody who ain't gonna just blab about it and gonk up this whole operation. But what am I gonna do, right? What am I gonna do other than that? Get some Joy Toy upgrades and call it a day?
I don't think you want that.
Oh, it's Joy Toy or T2 here 10X. If you got your choice between that, it's not like I'm gonna just download the schematics to end up going full dock. Couldn't do it if I tried.
On one condition. This be the end of it. This be all the chrome that I ever install on you.
Last time. Alright, Doc. She wires him the eddies. Just starts looking at the chair, and for some odd reason, it's looking more and more like an autopsy table right now. But we all got a choice to make in Night City, don't we? We all got a choice.
And I think for now, that's where we're going to call the session, and we'll come back next time with episode 2, where the 4 of you meet each other at Octavio's. So, thank you everyone for watching this first episode of Night City Stargazers, our Cyberpunk RED Actual play. So, congrats everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, indeed. Since our edge runners haven't actually done any kind of work as of yet, there's nothing to be gained at the moment. But we'll find out more about their exploits and what they'll be getting up to in the next episode, so that you guys have something to do next time. With that being said, we're gonna find some lovely person to go and raid. And in that meantime, I don't have an ending screen, so I'm just going to say
See that next week.
good night, everybody.
Yes. Night.
Good night.
I